Hello, this is William Cunningham, but you can call me Reggie, of My Hope in Marriage. I hope you're doing well. You can visit My Hope in Marriage, My Hope in Marriage online at www.myhopeinmarriage.com. And what I do is I provide resources, things that I've learned over 37 years of being married to you to help you forge a happy and fulfilling marriage. All right? Well, let's get into what I want to talk about today. And basically, it's to encourage men, or maybe even to admonish men, husbands, with the wife living with you, to be the man. Okay, be the man in your house. Be the father in your house. And let me qualify that. A long time ago, I think it was before I was getting married. No. It was right before we were going to have our son. My father said something to me that I never forgot. It's so clear in my head. He said to me that there were times where he had to be the bad guy. He said, I had to be the bad guy. He said, I didn't want to be the bad guy, but I had to be the bad guy because he had 3 sons living in the inner city in Philadelphia. And there were all types of opportunities for all types of things that we could get into that were not good. Okay? And I never forgot that. He had to be the bad guy. But it seems that a lot of parents today think that it's their job to be their children's friend. They appease their children. They want to make their children happy. Ooh, gooey love and all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, they don't realize they're destroying their children. And I see fathers, like when we're out in public, the way they let their children run around and just wreak havoc. And they do nothing. It's like they're weak men, effeminate men. All right. That maybe they were raised by their mother, and I'm going to qualify that. Not that mothers are bad. Okay. That's the problem. We're too concerned about everybody else's emotional state and how they're going to respond emotionally. And that's unfortunate that emotions play such a big part in our society in discussions and so forth. All right. But what my father said just stuck with me. He had to be the bad guy. And there were times when I had to be the bad guy. Matter of fact, I think most of the times I had to be the bad guy. All right? Because unfortunately, my wife took the stance of a lot of women today is they appease their children. They want to appease this child, especially a man child. That's critically bad. And why? Because she is going to interact with him in a feminine manner. She's going to teach him, except for, like science and math, is there feminine science and math. But as far as social, behavioral, responsibility-wise, she's going to teach him or interact with him in a feminine manner. And if there isn't a counterpart of masculinity, then he's going to grow up with more feminine tendencies in dealing with issues of life. For example, I don't think anyone would see it strange in America for a woman to be sitting on a chair somewhere crying. We would say something's really wrong with her or she's upset about something, right? But if you switch the flip, then you would, and that was a guy sitting on a chair crying, you'd be like, what's wrong with him? What are you crying for? Unless something catastrophic happened, it's not as acceptable to see a guy crying as it is a woman. So a woman tends to be more in tune with their emotions, and that tuning will be transferred to her children. Now, for a woman, a girl, daughter, that may be okay because that's kind of expected. But for a guy, a man child, that's not good. One thing that I've learned, a woman cannot teach a man how to, a woman cannot teach a man child, a boy, how to be a man. If her husband isn't around, if she's a single parent mother, then she needs to get a guy involved in his life, whether that's her brother, a very close friend, or a pastor, or some kind of person that can be his mentor. She knows that she can't teach him to be a man. And unfortunately, a lot of women today think that they can do it on their own. They don't need a man. I can't express to you how stupid that sounds to me, but that's another video. There are statistics, and I've been looking at these statistics for a little bit now, but I'm really just getting started, so not a lot is conclusive. But in general, a single parent household is not good for the child, for the children. It's not. And a Pew research, was a Pew Institute? Pew research indicates that more people are recognizing that. All right, that a single parent household is not good for the child. They're going to be more prone to depression. They're going to be more prone to violence. They're going to be more prone to, getting in trouble. And I remember there was one thing that I read where children of single parent, especially single parent a mother, is more prone to like teen suicides and poverty and things like that. But in general, children raised in a single parent household do not fare as well as those in a nuclear family. Okay? They don't fare well. So, for one thing, the more you can be involved with your children's lives, mother and father, the better. And like I said, you may have to be the bad guy. All right? And one thing that guys need to understand, one thing that you fathers, and I'm talking about nuclear family fathers, need to understand, and perhaps even non-nuclear family, as fathers, if you want to be in your child's life, and that's important, then you have to get out of the mindset, out of the belief that women are better parents than men. You've got to get that out of your head. All right. Somehow, I think some guys believe that, well, they are better parenting, because women are nurturers. Well, yeah, maybe they are nurturers. Guys nurture. We just do it very differently. Our nurturing don't look like nurturing. All right. But it depends on what you think of nurturing. All right. You want to raise that kid. You want to produce an environment so that they could be an effective human being, a productive human being, a responsible adult. And sometimes you need to be the bad guy because your spouse, your wife, and I say wife because statistics show that 80% of families are single family mother, a single parent mother. I forget the actual statistic, but most families that are single parent are mothers. All right, most single parent households have the mother, not the father. Okay. So, guys, you need to get out of, like I said, you need to get out of your mind that she's a better parent. Women for somehow know how to run household better. They know how to do finances better. No, get all that out of your head. If you were in the wilderness, apart from society, and you had a child, you would know what to do. All right. You may make mistakes. All right. But you would know there's certain things that this kid need to know. He need to recognize such and such and such and such as danger. He need to know that, that's not going to be, there's certain things that you're going to know to teach him. How you do it is a different thing. Now, if you teach the kid that everything's going to be okay and you appease him, then he's going to get eaten by a lion because he's going to go out there and say, oh, little kitty cat. Okay. All right. You got to teach him. And if you have the appeasing, and that's what I found that to be prevalent, is that parents want to appease their children, especially, I would say especially the women, but I've seen fathers, like when we're in public, we're in an amusement park or something, and you see the mother and her father with the kids, and the kids are like little monsters. You just want to slap them, and because and you're looking at the parent, you think, what's wrong with you? You know? Kids running wild, touching things they shouldn't be touching, and so forth and so on. You got to step up and say, hey, son, sit down and shut up, or whatever. All right? I remember another thing my father told me. God rest his soul. He said, because we were getting ready to have our child, I believe my wife was pregnant, and he said, you have to get them before they're 5 years old. He said, but now, that was me in my time, but in your time, nowadays, it's probably he said 7. You got to get them before they're like 7 years old or something like that. But whatever the number was, he said, but in your case, nowadays, you got to do it before, all right? Because things are faster or whatever. Basically, he said that you have to get your children to respect you and your voice at an earliest age as possible. All right? Because if they don't learn to respect your voice, then they will easily run right into danger and not even realize. Even though you're hollering and telling them, stop, don't do that, don't do this, they don't even hear you. They don't respect you. You don't know what you're talking about. All right. And that's one thing that I recognize. I think in my high school years that I realized, my dad is older than me. So he knows more stuff about life than I do. So I'm going to listen to this dude. And plus, you didn't mess around with dad. He was old school. All right. Not unlike parents of today. We got this stupid thing. You're not supposed to spank your kid. Basically, you're not supposed to discipline your kid. And kids getting wise to that. Well, he's not going to do anything to me. All right. So guys, you got to step up. You got to be that bad guy sometimes. You got to be the nurturer. You got to be the guy that teaches your child so that when he gets older, he recognizes certain things and he understands danger. He understands what it means to be responsible. All right. Because that's very, very important. So, a fatherless child, even if you're living in the house, but you're just not involved. When I say fathers, I'm not just talking about a single parent, a mother raising a child. I'm talking about a father who's just not involved. You've got to be involved because she cannot do it herself. And she definitely cannot raise a man-child to be a man. It just is not possible. Right? She can get help. And enlightened women will know to do that. They'll find some guy, a pastor or whatever, to help teach him. I remember I saw this video how this elephant was going around killing all these rhinos. And they figured out that it was because there was no bull. There was no male lion around. So they got a male lion, dropped him into this environment, and the killing stopped immediately. And it's the same with us. We need that balance of the man and the woman, the mother and the father raising a kid. And the fathers, you cannot back off. You have to be involved. All right. That includes get balance in your work and personal life. Because if you let it, your job will take over your life. Because they don't really care about you. They just care about what you produce. And that's fine. I mean, what else are they going to do? You have to be involved in your child's life so that they can grow up to be effective, productive, responsible human beings, responsible adults. All right? Be involved. Be the man. Sometimes be the bad guy. You might have to tell your wife, step off, step back. No, seriously. You may have to just be blunt. Now that might spawn some emotional stuff on her part, but hey, she's a woman. All right? Don't worry about that. Deal with that later. Right now, I'm concerned about you because you're going to be the monster if I don't be the bad guy. If you don't be the bad guy, you're going to create that monster. You're going to be that dad in an amusement park where everybody's looking at you. What's wrong with that dude? Look at that kid acting like a nut. All right? So be a man. Be a father. Be the husband. Be the head of your household. Be the head of your wife. Do it. All right? I dare you. Okay? All right. Well, I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you're blessed by it. I would appreciate it if you would, do a like, YouTube. If you like the video, then just indicate that by hitting the like button. If you want to be notified of other videos, just hit the subscribe button, and that'll help, I guess, exposure of my content. And I would like to have more exposure because, man, we need it. We've got everything going against us, man. We got just life in general is ready to just trying to beat men down. And we got women trying to beat men down. Those ignorant women. There's a lot of enlightened women out there, but you got those ignorant ones who just, I don't know where they came from. But anyway, just subscribe, leave a like, visit the website, myhopeinmarriage.com, leave a comment. I would appreciate it. I'd really like to hear from the women. That would be really, really good. All right. So until the next time, I want you to be blessed.